What's going on, everybody? My name is Kenny Mofer, and I want to thank you for tuning in to my special where men will be talking about marriage. Now, I want to do this video because in a few short weeks, I'll be married to the woman of my dreams. But like a lot of guys, I never thought I would get married at all. Not because I was incapable of it, but because it was simply not a thought. Now, I can't say for sure that marriage is for everyone, but my purpose in making this video is simply to give these men out there who are just like me, who never thought they would ever get married, some sort of advice or next level thinking through these 7 men experiences, opinions, and advice. So please share, comment, do whatever you have to. Watch and enjoy.
All right, my name is Jermaine Reynolds, and I've been married August 28th will make 9 years.
My name is Troy D. Williams, and I've actually been married 10, going on 11 years.
My name is Joey Barnes. I've been married for 7 years next month. My name is Jonathan Hamilton. And I've been married for 5 years.
Heisen Mark. I've been married for 9 years.
Bruce Mount Jr. Going on 3.5 years.
My name is Robert Monroe. I've been married for 8 years.
Unlike a lot of men, I found out at a later time. Prior to that, we were really good friends, so I didn't get to see her that way. But as we went through on with our journey in life, I was blessed to see her in the way that I see her now as my wife. She made me a better person all around, and a lot of people could attest to that. But it was solidified when I went through a situation in which she did everything that one woman, I was surprised that one woman could do. You know, she almost literally moved mountains to make sure that I was safe in the situation that I had fell into. But and so once I seen how much love she had for me, and how far she would go to make sure that I was good, I knew for a fact then, and you know, she was the woman I wanted to be with.
When my wife and I first started dating, I would say probably within the first month, I could say I knew I wanted to marry my wife. I knew I would marry her one day.
As soon as I met her, I knew I wanted to be married to her. It was one of those things where I was dating her, and I'm like, man, this girl has it all together, right? And she made me a better person. So at that point, I kind of said, you know what? I'm done with the games. I'm gonna make this right, you know?
I mean, when I first met my wife, I kind of knew that I was going to be digging her on a different level. Like I kind of made it a point to pursue her. When we started hanging out a little bit, like we would naturally laugh and joke around. And so we definitely built chemistry. I think one of the ways that I knew I wanted to marry my wife is when I could just kind of like be completely honest with her about some of the hangups from my past. Like I'm used to like lying in relationships, like from jump, you know, just whatever you asked me, it was going to be a lie. But I definitely remember me telling my wife how many people I had been with, and came back to bite me in the foot one day, because after we had been married, she asked me the same question again, and I lied. And she was like, dang, you told me more when we was dating. I was like, oh, see, that's how I knew you was gonna be the one, because I was able to definitely be 100 and straight up with her, just on every level. I think once you get that, it kind of makes it easy for you to know that this is a person you don't want to let out.
Me and my wife actually been together for about 15 years, and it was just a feeling. You know, when I saw her, I knew she definitely could be the type of woman that I would marry. That kind of came to me randomly, man. I was in a mall and happened to walk past a jewelry store, and you know, we had been at a point where she made it clear, you know, that she wanted to get married. I really wasn't sure. That was something I wanted to do at the time, and then it really kind of just came to me. I think at that time in my life, I really was kind of, you know, on a personal journey
spirituality. And I think I kind of got to a point where I felt like I couldn't believe one part of the Bible and not believe the other. I wanted to kind of, it kind of came to me that, that she was my partner. It was something that I wanted, that I did feel about her. So I need to, make it legit.
I knew I wanted to marry her. Situation happened when I was young and had lost my job. She kind of held it down for a minute. Didn't criticize me. Didn't be on me about when you're gonna get a job, when you're gonna do this. She just held it down and allowed me to do what I wanted to do, and ended up making it to this point. So I knew from that time she was day one.
It'd be cliche to say love at first sight, but I know certainly from the time that we met each other, the week following our first interaction, I can tell you from that moment, we kept in contact, every day since then, and it was just, something that I knew.
I think it's our friendship. Me and her, we did everything together. We worked out together. We talked together. We ate out. We did everything. And so once I established that friendship with her, it was easy to do everything else. I never established a friendship with someone in the manner that I did with her. We would crack on each other. We would pick out each other's flaws. Even work on it as well. So we established something that, like I said, I never did with anyone else, and it made it easier for me to say, this is the person I want to spend my life with. I want to do this forever.
I really like her assertiveness. I like the fact that she knew where she was going in life. She already had a plan. She was serious about what she was doing, and I just really liked the fact that she was a strong woman. So that was really one of the reasons that I was like, this is gonna work.
Well, for me, I'm one of those guys who always had that list of like certain attributes and qualities I look for in a woman. And, even as a young man, I actually met my wife in college, at the age of 20. But even as a young man, I still look for certain qualities in women. And she she checked off a lot of those attributes and qualities. And then I actually took her to meet my mom. We were up in Orlando in college, and I took her to meet my mother down in Sarasota, Florida. And her and my mother hit it off, and that was probably within the first month of our relationship after we officially started dating. And once her and my mother hit it off, that was kind of the icing on the cake, because at that point in my life, she was actually only the second woman who I've ever introduced to my mother. So that was a big thing. And yeah, they just hit it off, and I'm like, I can see a future here.
Yes, just upon talking to her and getting to know her, just her upbringing, she understood struggle, grind, and just, she had a hard work ethic. And a couple stories she told me in the beginning, definitely, struck something with me, and I was like, she the one.
For me, I thought my wife was amazing. From some folks say, well, they look good on paper and they're beautiful. I think I was blessed enough to find both, and not just was she beautiful inside and out, but it sounds funny, but our souls connected in the sense that God was really in the mix when we met and throughout our courtship.
Being able to effectively communicate, or being expressive, one of the two, or to combine. By being with her, I would say that I learned now to, express how I feel, more than I used to. I used to brush things off, but now with her, I express things better, whether it be good or bad, and I communicate on a whole new level. When you have to deal with a woman like the woman I have, which is a great thing, you learn that clarity is the best thing.
I would say one of the biggest lessons I've learned as a man since being married is this whole notion of sacrificing. Because I've always been the guy that enjoyed my singleness, and like marriage is definitely about sacrifice, but it's a constant sacrifice. So it ain't nothing that I sacrificed to get you on August 28th. And now I'm done. It's a continual sacrifice that has to be made, always considering another person higher than yourself. So this whole notion of sacrifice is something that I have learned and continue to learn on a daily basis.
Patience. I think that's been one of the biggest things that is, for me, is being patient, communication, but patience is, I think, the number one thing.
Humility. Number one is to know that I don't know it all, and I don't pretend to know it all. I'm not going to get everything right, not the first, not the second or third time. And marriage is a journey. It's not, most folks say it's a process. To me, it's a journey.
Definitely communication. Just being on the same accord, because if you're not on the same accord and you let stuff, fester for a while, it can just go downhill. So you just gotta have that communication and just get all your feelings out.
You can't be about yourself. You gotta have a mindset that now it's not about you, it's about inviting somebody else into your world. You gotta be able to compromise, and you gotta be able to communicate. And that's been hard for me because I'm used to doing things on my own. So I had to have an open mind to be able to allow me and my wife to enter into my world and still go into her world and operate as one.
I'd say the biggest thing I've learned about marriage is that it's work. And that's not something I really wanted to hear. I'm an easygoing guy. I like things just to flow. And in my head, it should flow. I should come home and everything should be good. There really shouldn't be issues. But ultimately, you're two individuals, you're growing together, you're growing individually, professionally, personally. And with that, it's going to require, some give and take. So it does require to put in the time, it does require to put in the date nights, it does require you to put in, really kind of talking about where you're at, for your household. And it's not just necessarily going to be a easy go with the flow type of thing.
So many, man, so many. I would say the biggest thing would be just becoming a better communicator, overall, and just, understanding the importance of sacrifice. When my wife and I first met, we were both about to graduate from college. We both had to make big ultimate sacrifices. She was actually, going to school to be a teacher. One of her dreams was to always teach abroad, overseas. And, she was actually going to go do that. She was going to go somewhere over in Europe, after graduation. And then during that time, I was actually doing runway modeling and doing some print work. And I actually was going to move out to LA and pursue a modeling career out there because I had the potential to make six figures at the age of 21. So one of the things that she said is she was like, we can still make it work long distance if I go over there. But, in my mind, I think her as well, if she was going to go over there and I was going to go out to LA, the chances of us staying together were slim to none. She was going to do her thing over there. I was going to do my thing over there. So I told her, though, I wanted her to go and study abroad because that's what she wanted to do. And it was something I did not want her to resent me for the rest of our lives if she didn't go. So I told her to go. She decided to stay in Orlando and ride with me. I decided to stay in Orlando. So we both had to sacrifice. It was a big sacrifice for both of us, and we made it work, and it ultimately paid off. So I would say just communication, and then ultimately just the power of sacrifice and what that can do for a relationship.
Her situation happened when I was young and had lost my job. She kind of held it down for a minute. Didn't criticize me. Didn't be on me about when you're gonna get a job, when you're gonna do this. She just held it down and allowed me to do what I wanted to do, and end up making it to this point. So I knew from that time she was day one.